known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Good morning, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. We are happy to have you watching Puck Time and joining us here. I'm Andrew McInnis. We have Carmine Bianco with me and Don Buster. Guys, we had yesterday off. There was just one game, and it was the Ottawa Senators and the Arizona Coyotes. So who wants to talk about those two teams? But it actually ended up being a pretty good game, an exciting one, and the Coyotes continued to play upset as the Ottawa Senators turned out to be hefty favorites. The Coyotes once again come through as underdogs, win that one 5-3. I was happy to have the first period over and full game over in that one, 2% bet on both. So I'll gladly take that and move on to today. And in typical NHL scheduling fashion, we have a ton of games to break down today. As far as us, we're going to break down 4 games, best bet, and I have a buy team and a sell team for you at the end of the show. Just a quick reminder to all of you guys out there about the meet and greet on Friday at the Westgate, 2 o'clock until 7. All of us will be there. We're going to have some swag to give away, shirts and all that good stuff. We're going to have some drinks, of course, and we look forward to meeting all of you. And I can't wait to join my friend Carmine Bianco in Vegas, and he is already there, up nice and early to join us. What's going on, Carm?
Guys, welcome, man. Someone actually just said in the chat, Carmine's on a back-to-back. Yes, I am on the second half of a back-to-back right now. Really tired. It's early in Vegas, and I had a late night. Las Vegas Chris from WagerTalk, a guy, just a absolutely great guy, picked me up, took me down to Fremont Street. We went to in the D Hotel Andiamo, a fantastic Italian restaurant. And he bought dinner, a great night, and then dropped me off back at Westgate, where we're going to have the meet and greet on Friday. The swag has started to arrive, guys. It's been shipped by FedEx. It's arriving. We got some great stuff, so drop in on Friday in the sports book at the Westgate, the clubhouse. You'll see it. You walk into the sports book, and it's right there near the front counter. There's a big room called the clubhouse. All the WagerTalk guys will be there for the meet and greet. If there's 2 reasons to come, it's the swag that we're going to give away, and then Kelly Stewart. She's going to be there. How can you not go to any event where Kelly is there? You got to come out and see it. You don't want to see me. You don't want to see Andrew. You don't want to see Don Buster. You want to see Kelly. She's there. And all the WagerTalk personalities will be there giving out some stuff between 2 and 7 o'clock on Friday. Come to the Westgate and pick up some swag. And if you can't make it, I'll put up some contests on our Puck Time account where you can win some of the swag that we are giving out as well too. I'm 1 day into the trip and I'm off to a winning start. It's actually a good thing. I might want to just leave because it doesn't happen very often. Buster, you're normally in Vegas for March Madness. I know you're not here this time around, but man, how are things with you?
Well, Carmine, yeah, I wish I was able to come. I had mentioned this a couple of times in the show, just waiting for our Mexican residency, so we have to stay till mid-April. I actually been trying to talk Mrs. Buster into, once we get that residency, to go for a little, maybe a 4-dayer in Vegas, but we'll see. Anyways, I would like to sit here and say that things are going well, but full disclosure, I've been on here for the last month and a half too, like right from the beginning of the year, talking about how great my college basketball's been. We were up like plus 95 units. And Mr. Aggression came for me about midweek last week and kicked the living shit out of me. Like literally probably the worst I've had in maybe, I don't know, I would even go back as far as 10 years. It was just been a bloodbath the last 5 days. Thank God I was up so much percentage, but could take this 2 ways. Could look at it and go, and have that negative attitude. When I was 24, yeah, I probably would have just kept firing bullets. But no, we took yesterday off. We regroup. March Madness has always been great for me. We've had some great years with WagerTalk, and now at Sports Memo with March Madness. And we'll get past Mr. Regression. Hopefully, went on to find somebody else. No one on Sports Memo or WagerTalk. Hopefully, one of those other sites. Go find one of those guys. And we're looking for a real big college basketball week. And I wish I was with you guys, but next year and the next 20 years to come, we'll be able to do that. And one thing I'd like to add, Carmine. I know you always save me some swag. Remember, I'm a pretty big guy, right? I'm pretty big and wide. No larges. Extra large, please. You give me a large puck time shirt. I've been trying to lose weight down here for the last 6 months, and I still can't fit into it. So, large for the Buster.
How are you overweight, man? All you drink
I'm not overweight. Look, I'm not overweight. Look at the sun, how wide I am. I'm not overweight at all. I'm in good shape.
But this is the thing. You're in that hot temperature. You're on the beach in there's probably a Sports Memo Speedo or whatever you're wearing. You're eating avocados all day and drinking those little cornitas. How can you possibly be overweight, my friend? It's different north of the border of where you are. So,
Uncle Carm,
what do you take? What do you take, Carm? What do you take? You take an extra large, right? You're a big guy. I take an extra large. That's all I'm saying. Come on.
Listen.
Buster, I also 100%, like extra large. It's a party.
100%,
extra large people.
Yeah. Buster, 100%. I will send you some swag. We have hockey pucks with our logo on it. We have mugs, coffee mugs, and we have T-shirts and some hoodies as well too. It's too hot to send you a hoodie. I'll send you a shirt, a mug, and a hockey puck. How's that?
You know what? Just save them for me, Carmine. I always enjoy meeting you for lunch, and once I get back in July, so you just save them for me, and don't make sure you save the extra large. That's all I'm saying. Pretty sure last year you just had the last shirt was a large, and here you go, Buster. Is that an extra large, Carmine? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So, anyways, on with the show. No one wants to hear this.
You are bringing it today. You are bringing the
wow.
energy. I absolutely love it. What a start to the show.
All right, let's get going.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. Sorry, guys. But, sorry in the chat that we had this little extra.
No. It's good. But I do find it peculiar you use that age of 24, Buster. I'm 24, man. You can't be, dissing 24-year-old decisions or make good decisions when we're 24 sometimes. Come on, man.
Well, you know what? I don't want to say anything, Andrew, but if I remember right, you're engaged, correct?
No.
I'll just leave it at that, and all the old guys on the show will understand that.
Not yet. Yeah. She can't watch this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, no, right. No, good for her, but I'm just saying. You say about making good decisions, well, you're 24.
I love the energy today. Okay, our games today, the Stars at Toronto take on the Maple Leafs, with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators going head-to-head. The Avalanche and the Kings, and the Winnipeg Jets playing host to the Vegas Golden Knights, and, of course, the buy and sell segment at the end of the show. Our very first game, again, we'll discuss. We have the Maple Leafs at home, minus 140, as they host the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars plus 120 here. If you're interested in the puck line for either team, minus 1.5 is plus 170, plus 1.5, minus 200. I don't know if you want that very much. Total is set at 6.5, however. And of course, the talk of the town, Carm and I both had our fun on Twitter last night and yesterday. The Maple Leafs dropped 2 games in a row, but those 2 games in a row were against the Arizona Coyotes and the Buffalo Sabres. And I guess, guys, this is the time where I show some transparency and call myself out, because as someone that has fun at the Leafs' expense, I actually had the Leafs as my buy team on last week's show. And so it was not very good of a week for me to have them as a buy team, because, well, what's the truth of it? I looked at their schedule compared to what it's been the past 3 weeks against teams like Carolina and Tampa Bay and Florida, and I said, wow, we've got Arizona, they've got Buffalo, Seattle on deck, and what do they do but get upset 5-2 against Buffalo in the outdoor game and 5-4 against Arizona? Not very impressive. We also are going to be without Austin Matthews for 2 games. He has a 2-game suspension for a cross-check to the head of Rasmus Dahlin. So they'll be without their top goal scorer, and we're going to have a new goaltender in here that's only played a couple games here, Eric Kellgren. I believe that's the pronunciation. We're probably all going to do it differently. But looking forward to breaking down this game with all of you guys. It is an adjusted price, obviously, with a backup in, with Toronto missing Austin Matthews, and they're minus 140. Dallas has also lost 2 straight games as well. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to look for an angle here. It might surprise some of you guys with the Toronto Maple Leafs game. I'm going to go ahead and think the under 6.5 is my play in this one. Defense has been in shambles. Goaltending has been the talk of the town for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So what better of a story would it be tonight to see a younger guy come in with a star player out for as far as the forward position goes, and the team rallies together defensively and gets a low-scoring victory. And that's kind of what I'm looking for here. If we look at the Dallas Stars, the past couple games they've played in, they're not a team that's just been lighting it up, but their last game they allowed 7 goals. So they're also going to want to turn things around. And I always say that maybe you can't turn it around so quickly, but tonight with the 6.5, I'm taking the under with the Stars and the Maple Leafs. I do like the Leafs at that minus 140, but I like the under 6.5, just a little bit more here tonight. I'll go under here with the Leafs and the Stars. Carm, what about you? What are you thinking here?
Andrew, that is a bold call, my friend. I looked at the total or when I was looking at the numbers for this game yesterday and again this morning, I thought, oh, the total is likely going to be at 6 because of how Dallas normally plays defensively, but they have been in some high-scoring games, and that last one is completely uncharacteristic of this team playing a 7-4 game with the New York Rangers. You just don't normally see that. I usually expect the Dallas Stars, and I'm likely thinking well back to earlier in the season that they play games more like the Nashville Predators game where they lost 2-1. Those 3-2 type games with this team, and we're seeing it. You mentioned it. I kind of chirped my Leaf friends, the fans, my buddies who are Leaf fans about the whole thing with Austin Matthews and them complaining about the suspension. It's a clear suspension. Listen, anytime you cross-check a guy in the neck or head, you're likely going to get suspended. It doesn't matter who you are, what star you are. It's a suspension. A cross-checking is a thing that the NHL this year is cracking down on. And while it's a penalty if you cross-check a guy into the boards, if you cross-check a guy in the head or the neck, and it doesn't matter what he did to you. Darlene in that game did cross-check Austin Matthews, but it was in the chest. There's a complete difference between a cross-check to the chest and a cross-check or the back and one to the head. That's a suspension all day long. And of course, the Leaf faithfuls are complaining about that suspension. With that said, Andrew, getting back to the game, yeah, obviously Matthews out is a big miss for them. Kellgren, as you mentioned, being in goal, he's only played in one previous game. It was mop-up duty in a game where he faced 11 shots, stopped 10 of those 11 shots in that game. It was a 5-4 game. It's the next man up mentality sometimes, Andrew. We talked about this at the beginning of the year with Pittsburgh and missing guys like Malkin and Crosby out at the beginning of the year, and they won games. The Leafs need to do this. I'm telling you, this is a team that is quickly falling out of those 3 spots in the Atlantic, and they could end up in one of those wild card spots in 7th or 8th, this team. But it's a big game that they need to win, and Dallas hasn't looked good as of late. At least the last couple of games, they haven't looked good. These are minus 140 here, even with this goalie coming in. I think the initial reaction is, who is this guy? Let's bet against the Leafs. Leafs minus 140 at home is a very good and attractive price. I think we see a completely different effort from Toronto than we saw against the Buffalo Sabres. Yes, the Buffalo Sabres knocked off the Leafs again, guys. But with that said, I'm not going to touch the total in this one. I am going to take the Leafs minus 140 here. Buster?
Okay, thanks, Carmine. Yeah, you guys both have Toronto. I will definitely take Dallas here, plus 120. I mean, this Toronto club's just a bad club. Now they miss Matthews for this game. And it's, Kallgren's in net. Has a good average in AHL. We've talked about that kind of stuff before, about goalies that could either play really, really well or he'll let in the first 3 of 6 shots. Just one quick little point. If the roles were reversed and Dolan did that to Matthews, he's sitting for what, 10, 15? Maybe he gets 2 years less a day. Not too sure. But again, Matthews is a superstar. You get 2 games. That in itself is crazy. Should have got way more. Dallas is the start of the first game of 4-game road trip. Always like that. Dallas also fighting for a playoff spot. Where the Leafs, they're kind of just home and cooled out, like Carmine said. You know, if they be careful, if they don't be careful, they're going to fall into a 7th or 8th spot. Not too sure if they really even care the way they've been playing. How do you lose? They lose to Buffalo, then they lose to Arizona, especially in a big game that, was in Hamilton. It's one of those games that you don't show up again. I'm not sure. This Leafs team is just, again, I've sat here all year and talked about Leafs in Edmonton, and, so I'm not going to keep reiterating that point. I just don't think they're a good club. They're good offensively, great to take overs and that. I think Andrew, though, makes some really good points about this under here now that it's at 6.5, because you'd have to think that Toronto will at least try to help this kid out in net tonight. You'd think so, but you never know. And the total, the last 6 times in Toronto, it's gone, last 5 times in Toronto, it's gone 4-1 to the under. However, Dallas are 4-1 to the over on the road. The last 5 games, Toronto is 7 out of the 8 to the over. Again, now you're counting on Toronto to play some defense here. You say Toronto, it's a good price at 140 for Toronto. Missing their best player and having a guy in net that you don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know. Dallas plus 120. They're a pretty good club, and they're very good on the road. They've been good on the road, Dallas. I think at one time we had talked, they might have been like 8 out of 10 on the road or something, like going back a bit. But good luck on your total, Andrew, under 6.5. I think you got a good handicap there. Don't know if I can trust the Leafs to do it. And with Ottinger letting in 7 the other night, who knows? But good luck to you there. I'm taking Dallas plus 120. Thanks.
I appreciate it. And it's going to be interesting to see what this Leafs team looks like without Austin Matthews. For most cases, I like to say that hockey's one of those sports where losing one player might not impact a team all that much, but this is going to be a different Toronto team without Austin Matthews, and that's again one of the reasons why I like the under. We'll see what kind of shape up they look like without him. So a little bit of disagreement, a little bit of agreement here to start the show off, but we have another game to dive into. And we'll do just that with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators. This one, minus 120 here for Pittsburgh, plus 100 for Nashville at home. Total is at 6 in this game. Buster, I'll start with you with your thoughts on this one. As we see the Nashville Predators here, and this is a team that I've been calling inconsistent probably for the past week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. I'll have to ask if you agree with me here, but just as far as their expectations go for themselves, and I think that I've had from them, it's just been all over the place. It's hard to get a grasp on what this team is capable of and what they can do. As far as the Pittsburgh Penguins go, they go through a 1 or 2 game slump, and immediately you snap your finger and they're back on track, winning games 5-2 against quality opponents. They just beat Vegas and Carolina in back-to-back games there, and played very well defensively. One of those reasons, Buster, why I have a future on them to win the East is because they're a great defensive team as well. Lots of vets on that team, great defensemen, and Jari's played much better. Does this Nashville team frighten you at all in this game, or could they have the ability to play upset? Because I just don't know if I can take them serious against a team like Pittsburgh. Only thing that would really worry me would be to kind of a drop-off game here after they just played a great game against Carolina. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, as far as the side in this game, I tell you, it's a good game. It was at a pick. It looks like Pittsburgh money's come in on them. Nashville plays well at home, right? They're a pretty good home team. This game, as far as the side, I think it's a tough game to pick as far as the side. we actually like the under 6 here. We actually even gave it out to our clients earlier this morning. Just sat here last week. We talked about the Dallas-Nashville game, and I said that, it was 5.5, but I really thought it was going to be a tight, close checking game, just because the way that's how Nashville can play, and they play that way at home sometimes. Obviously, some other games they don't, right? But I'm just saying these two teams set up, to me, as under games, no matter what they've been doing when they played together. Pittsburgh are actually 5-1 to the under the last 6 on the road, and Nashville has went 5-1 to the under the last 5 in Nashville. Looks like probably Soros and Jari will be in net. Those guys are good, and it's a 6. You know what? Like, to me, now you got to score 7 with these two teams that can play very well on defense. Pittsburgh's played really well defensively lately, and I just find it really tough to take a side here. I would caution anybody on taking a side, because to me it's just a coin flip. Overall, I really like the under, and like I said, I gave it out to our clients. So we're gonna go under 6 here in this game.
All right, Buster, looking towards the under here. Can't talk you off that one. These two teams going head to head. Carm, any thoughts for you on the side in this game?
What is a Tuesday show without me disagreeing with my good friend Don Buster? I can't take the under in this game, and it's a couple reasons, Andrew, Buster, which is, you look at they're both playing extremely well. You look at the Pittsburgh game against Carolina, that game finished 4-2. That was a tough loser for anyone who had the under in that game, because there were 3 goals scored late in that one for that final scoreline. But you look at Nashville. The one thing about Nashville tonight, and this is probably where the line is, why it's at this place. It's their 3rd and 4 nights, obviously, which is obviously and always a tough spot. But they're scoring goals. You look at their last 5 games, and they've scored 24 goals in those 5 games. 8-0 against the Sharks, a 2-1 game, which was the low-scoring game against the aforementioned Dallas Stars, and then 4-1 against the Ducks, 7-4 against the Blues, and then 6-2 against Minnesota, who can't seem to keep anything out of the net. Now, Pittsburgh obviously is a much different team, a much better defensive team, and they're getting the goaltending, but they're also a team that can score goals. And in a game where the Preds are on their 3rd and 4 nights, normally we see some goals in those scenarios, Andrew. So I'm not going to pick a side here. The price actually looks really good on the Preds, to take the Preds, even given how Pittsburgh's playing right now. You can get the Preds at home, where they're normally very tough, at -120. I might end up going that route at some point today and taking the Preds, but I'm looking at the total here. The total is 6. If it was 6.5 and it was never going to be 6.5, I would be on the under. But at 6, I'm actually on the over here. I'm going to take the over here. Disagree with my good friend Buster on this one, and take the over and look for some goals tonight.
Carm, first of all, the support that we get on our show and to our Puck Time Twitter account, and both of us and the YouTube comments. How many people have said that it's a routine for them to watch Puck Time to start their days off, or on their lunch break at work, or whatever it may be yesterday, and it means a lot to us. So what better thing for us to do than give them a show and just be all over the place with our opinions over the first 2 games. It couldn't be any better for us to start. So, hey, it is what it is, and we're getting some different opinions out there.
But this is the thing, is the idea is, for anyone tuning in, we're not telling you we will mention it. We have plays up at WagerTalk or plays up at Sports Memo. But we're breaking down the games. We're giving our own opinions, some information, some stats, hopefully some actionable info, and hopefully you can sort of disseminate and come up with a play of your own. If you want to do your own homework and come up with a play. The last thing you really want is 3 guys on a show absolutely agreeing on every single play, every single total, every single side. Because if I was watching that show, Andrew, I would bet the opposite of what those 3 guys are saying. So that's just me. So I like the fact that sometimes we'll have differing opinions. I think it's an actual good thing in that sense. I think someone had commented just a little while ago. all three guys have a different opinion on the game. That's actually a good thing. If you can pull a little bit of info from what Andrew said, Buster said, and I said, and maybe come up with your own play on the game, it's a good thing. Especially if you end up winning. So that's the main focus I think that you should have when watching this show.
Yeah, ideally, we don't want you guys fast forwarding to minute 43 just for the best bets. We want everyone sticking around for the banter, for the breakdowns, and even the disagreements as well. But just wanted to say I appreciate all the messages yesterday, all of you guys being here with us right now. And we have 2 more games to break down. Let's do that with the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Winnipeg Jets here. If you follow WagerTalk on Twitter, you saw their tweet. They have not had a successful road trip. That is the Vegas Golden Knights. It's not been a good one for them. Now they get to take on the Winnipeg Jets here. Can they right the ship? Can they turn things around? Well, again, another team. I talk about inconsistencies. You guys know that I've been, quote for quote, selling the Winnipeg Jets a little bit here. But I'm not going to lie to you. Over the past, half a week, really, last 2 games for this team, I have kind of seen some spots where I liked them a little bit more. And that doesn't mean that I think they're going to turn things around or they're getting things together, but the Winnipeg Jets have been playing better hockey. And a lot of it's been better defense, and they're finally seeing some depth, So they're minus 130 tonight. We've got Vegas at plus 110, and guys, the total is at 6 here in this one. Carm, I'm super excited. You and I will be seeing the Vegas Golden Knights with a couple of my buddies from home Thursday night, the day I arrive. We'll be watching them play after their first. It'll be their first day back after their road trip against the Florida Panthers here. But this Vegas team is going to want to end things off on a great note. And guys, I just think this is too good of a price to be true. I've been down on Vegas. I've kind of gotten after them about that trade with Eichel and Tuck. I mean, I think losing Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuck is a huge loss. I don't think a Jack Eichel is what they needed on their team personally. But this is a spot here where I would call buying low. I mean, you're getting Vegas at a plus 110 price. Are you kidding me? Winnipeg's played better hockey recently, but not that much better for me to want to take them at minus 130 tonight. Can we be on the same page, Carmine? Can we do it?
No. I can't. Listen, again, 100% transparency. Like, I had the Vegas Golden Knights at a big plus price on Friday against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they fell in the hole 2-0 in that game. Started to play extremely well after that, tied it up 2-2. A couple breakaways to take the lead, didn't score, and then the Pens put them away in the third period, win that game 5-2. This has been a disaster of a road trip for Vegas. Losses in Philadelphia, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Columbus, and now they ended here in Winnipeg. I would love to say I want to take Vegas, but it would be like the banana in the tailpipe thing, where it's just like, you got me again. I can't do it. So maybe it's a good thing, Andrew, if I take the Winnipeg Jets and I do the contrarian to what you're saying, and you end up with a winner here. It's such an odd game. Vegas, they're quickly playing themselves out of a playoff spot, with obviously with Anaheim, the LA Kings, Edmonton, all these teams vying for that last spot, and even San Jose have with a couple wins, have put themselves back into a shout for one of those wild card spots. This Vegas team needs to get wins, and obviously the Mark Stone injury is a big miss for this team. I get it, Eichel. It took him some time. It's going to take him some time. The guy hasn't played in 2 years. It's going to take him some time to get back in there, and he's scoring some goals. But the Mark Stone thing and the injuries from this team, it's a big miss for this team. They need to get healthy, and they're trying to get into the playoffs, and then obviously bring Stone in at that point off of the long-term injury list. But this team is in trouble. Can they get the win in Winnipeg? Winnipeg is that team, and we talk about it. I hate to use the phrase bipolar, but they are. They win games you don't expect them to win, like the game in St. Louis, and then they lose games that you don't expect them to lose against an Isles team that is done and dusted. Even like losing to the Rangers at home, I just don't get this team on a day-to-day basis. If anything, I'm going to look at the under here just because putting those last two games aside for Vegas, where the 6-4 game, the 5-2 game, they're still struggling to score, this team. And against a team like Winnipeg that need points, and you have Hellebuck in net at home, I just see one of those low-scoring games here. Against a Vegas team that needs the points, maybe we see a tougher defensive game from them as well, too. So I'm going to lean to the under here. I'm not going to take a side. You're not going to get me to commit to either one of these teams tonight.
All right, Buster, what do you think here in this one?
Well, I thought actually Carmine said he was with Winnipeg. So although I saw the game was at a pick, you're saying that so all Winnipeg monies came in to make it 130. Yeah, so at 130, I'm not sure I really want Winnipeg either. But Winnipeg is the way I would go here. Sorry, Andrew, but again, Winnipeg, like you say, there's lots, like Carmine was just saying, there's lots of implications here. I know we're 22 games out of the playoffs, but that West, I tell you, they're in playoff mode now. Winnipeg's 4 games back. Vegas 0-4 on the road. They've looked okay, really. I guess you could argue they maybe deserved a better fate in one of those 4 games, but bottom line, they lost 4. And who's ahead? You guys mentioned you're going to the game. Look ahead spot. There's Florida waiting for him at home in Vegas too. So it's a 5th game. I think it's just a real tough, bad spot for Vegas here. Bottom line, that last game of a road trip usually is kind of, although they've lost 4, so they are going to want to, they're going to play. But usually that last game of a road trip, if teams has won 3 out of 5, they don't play. They play a little bit wanting to get home, right? So not too sure if they're looking forward to get home to play Florida here. Again, goaltending, we talk about it all the time. Bischois in net for Vegas again because Lanner's sitting at home in Vegas. He's injured, so that's not helping them. You already talked about Stone. And, they don't look like they're scoring many goals. Really like to have Hellebuck at home, that's for sure. Sat here last week and said I had a feeling about Winnipeg against Tampa Bay last week. I just said, they were an underdog then. See that, and for me, it's all about numbers and situations. The situations in Winnipeg, I don't like Winnipeg's number here. Could even go and lean the way Carmine is with the under here. The total clubs 5-0-1 to the under. So, again, not sure if it's going to make my card, but I definitely want no part of Vegas. It's just a bad spot, if you ask me. I would take Winnipeg or nothing, and I don't blame Carb for betting this game under 6.
To me, it'd be a bad spot, Buster, if they were playing good hockey. End of the road trip, look ahead spot, But you got to get they've got to get their act together. They're playing bad hockey. This to me would usually be a fade spot if they weren't playing good hockey or if they were playing good hockey already. You see a team win a couple games in a row and then they have a last game of their road trip. They might take that game off, but can we both agree they need this win though as well, even though it's kind of a bad spot for them?
Yeah, they both need the win. Like I say, Winnipeg's 4 games back, and we talk about this all the time, or at least I do, about they don't have to win. They could lose 5, 6, 7 games in a row. They don't have to win because it's Vegas. They don't have to win. Winnipeg's got some real nice momentum after winning that game against St. Louis. Now they come home, and now they get to play, I think it's 6 out of 7 or 7 of their next 8 games in Winnipeg. They're going to make a run for that playoff spot, and don't be surprised, everyone, if you don't see the Winnipeg Jets in the playoffs. When they're at home, they're a whole different animal that you're dealing with. And Tampa Bay saw that last Tuesday, and I really believe the only thing that just scared me off this game was Winnipeg minus 130, 140. I'm not going to lay that. When Winnipeg was at a pick, I think that's the play. But again, I see exactly what you're saying, Andrew, with Vegas having to win, but we've done this so many times all year. Just because they have to win doesn't mean they're going to win. And it wouldn't surprise me come Friday morning that I'm texting you saying, how's that Vegas doing? What are they now, 0-6?
Yeah, and just to jump in, and Buster makes a good point. The the must win scenario should never be part of your handicapping. It's kind of like the zigzag that I'll mention sometimes because it's sitting there right in front of you. That's not a handicapping method. That's something you talk about at the bar with your friends while you're having a beer, which is like this team is zigzagging. It's just a schedule of win loss win loss win loss. It's not a handicapping tool and never should be, but it's something that is interesting in that sense. But you look at it and it's and Andrew, we've talked about it. We're going to watch on Thursday night. We're going to watch the Vegas Florida Panthers game. You bought tickets to the game for your friends and myself, and I thank you for that. And then my friends arrive in Vegas next week, and I'm taking 7 people to the Vegas Nashville game. I picked up tickets. Brian Leonard is going to come and show us around. I'm going to watch that game. If I keep losing money on the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm going to buy a Florida jersey. I'm going to buy a Nashville jersey. I'm going to wear it to the game. Same way I wear anyone who's playing the Leafs, I wear that team's jersey when I go and watch a Leafs game. I'm going to do the exact same thing. But to the point of, you look at the standings right now, and you have, these are the seventh place, Edmonton, 68, Vegas, 68. You have Dallas at 67. And then you have 65 with Vancouver, and then 64 and 60, both on 64, the Jets and the Ducks. This race in the West, unlike the East, where the top 8 spots are confirmed, I don't see anyone else getting in. It's just positioning. The West is completely up for grabs. It's going to be fantastic hockey here on out for the last 20 games on positioning. But I actually hope Vegas wins this game tonight against this Jets team, just because I want to fade them the first back off a road trip when they play the Florida Panthers on Thursday night, Andrew. You know that. I'm expecting some goals in that game, and I'm likely going to be, I'm letting you guys know right now, I'm likely going to be on the Panthers and the over in that game. I'm going to piss off a lot of Vegas people, but that's where I'm focused on right now, Andrew.
I'll tell you what, guys, I might have to get Dan to just come on this show here with us, our producer, because I know I just clean shaven over the weekend, but I feel like it's the if you're 50 plus, go against Andrew type of day here on the show. I mean, come on. I understand what you guys were saying. I got a lecture from both you guys about my pick here. Jesus. Like, I literally said,
oh, no, it's
I'm
not
not
a lecture,
betting
brother.
it because
No, not
I think
at
it's
all.
a
I'm just
must
saying.
win. I'm betting it because I gave way more arguments than just it's a must win. You guys are acting like I said, yeah, they should win this game. That's it. You guys both just destroyed my handicap completely.
No,
you're on the opposite side.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's not why
No,
I'm
no.
betting the
I'm
Vegas
saying
Golden.
I'm talking about, honestly. I'm talking about in general, because I hear it across like every sports platform, whether it's basketball or whether it's soccer. I always hear people say it's a must win, and I just never get the whole it's a must win scenario. No team in the dressing room says, guys, we're going to win tonight because it's a must win. It's just the game is played on the court, on the field, on the ice, and it's what you do there. There's no such thing as maybe there is a must win scenario, but it doesn't equate into actual W's. So at the end of the day, so the whole must win thing just blows my mind when people talk about it. Not you, Andrew.
people in general.
People.
All right, let's go into Colorado and LA, our last game here, guys. Colorado minus 210 on the road. We have LA here off that 3-2 win over the Florida Panthers, and that came in spectacular fashion. Just a last-second goal, buzzer beater pretty much from Martin Ferk, who actually I watched play junior here in my hometown, and this guy, no matter what, if he's in AHL or NHL, this guy should be a part of the hardest shot competition. He has an outstanding shot. And we see LA plus 175, like I said, and the total's at 6 here in this one. And with LA coming in off that win against Florida, you know, some might argue they deserved it, but some might argue they kind of just squeaked by. But I think Colorado's ready to go on a roll again. I mean, they faced some adversity. They faced some tougher teams. And, you know, now it's kind of a tough one here for Los Angeles after that game against Florida here. And they're playing another elite team in the league. You know, I'm not saying I'm betting the minus 210. What I'm going to say is I think the number should be even bigger than that. I think Colorado in regulation is a good spot. It's a good favorite tonight to play. You get that regulation, you get that price down. If you want to play the -1, you split the money line, or excuse me, you just look at that puck line, and maybe potentially try and get a money line live if LA goes up early. Take Colorado. I think the Avalanche here are obviously the better team, but I think LA, as much as I've been kind of high on them and impressed by them this season, I just don't think they can trade goals with a team the caliber of Colorado. So, what do you think about this one, Buster? Obviously, it was an impressive win by LA over Florida, but I don't know if they can go toe to toe here with Colorado in this one tonight.
Yeah, Andrew, I don't really want to keep going against you all show, but it looks like I probably will again because I really, with Colorado, I understand that's going to be the play. Everybody and their brother out there, they're not going to lay 210, 220 or whatever it is right now. They're going to play Colorado in regulation. Colorado, they haven't been playing that well on the road. They're only 3-4 last time on the road. They lost to New Jersey and Arizona on the road too. LA played really well. I know they had to come back to win that game against Florida, but they outplayed Florida, if you ask me. I watched the game. I mean, I thought they outplayed them. Big problem, and a good reason why you might want to take that Colorado and go with everybody in regulation is because Colorado had dominated this LA Kings. They've won the last 7 meetings between the clubs. So I get that. As far as the total here, these guys have played 9 out of the last 12 to the under. They played once this year. It was a 4-1 Colorado win in Los Angeles. So Colorado could be the play here. I really do not want any part of the side here. What I do, I am advising. I will not be taking this. I don't like Colorado regulation. I would take the Kings plus 1.5 if you could get -120. I think, as I say a lot of times, I think this is going to be one of those games that, we talked about this before about betting draws. If people bet draws, this could be a good game to get a big price on a draw. I just think it's going to be another close game that LA plays at home. It looks like Peterson and Grubauer is going to be in net. So, I mean, goalies, it could be a tight game. And again, the only reason I wouldn't take Colorado is because it looks like that's going to be the play from everyone. And you always want to be a little contrarian when everybody's on the one side. We've talked about that a lot in the last 3 or 4 years here. So I don't think this is going to make my card. Best of luck to your Colorado in regulation, Andrew, but I caution you on that play.
All right, I do not have the Buster approval here, the official presidential approval in Mexico from Buster about Colorado. What about you, Carm? What are your thoughts here?
Well, I am going to be, Andrew, I'm with you. I'm going to be the contrarian to Buster's contrarian play. When this show is done, I'm heading down to the sports book, and I am taking the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm taking them on the puck line here. I'm going to lay the 1.5. This Colorado team has, aside from being fantastic at home, they've been just as good. They have the second best road record this year in the West on the road. And who has the best record on the road? The Kings, but they're 9th in the West at home. And I think it's right now. It looks like it's Cal Peterson scheduled to go for the Kings, and I'm surprised this guy doesn't have a wrench to neck because he was looking behind him on the weekend where he allowed 5 goals to the San Jose Sharks in that 5-0 game there. The Avs game, I had the Avs against the Flames in regulation time in that last game. The Avs played fantastic. Comfort played absolutely great in net, and they need him to. He's their goalie moving forward and obviously into the playoffs. The Avs are playing really well right now, Andrew. I just can't go against a team that's playing as well as they are. And at this price, I get it. The game line is high. The regulation line, much better. If they get it done, they get it done in regulation. I'm going to go one step further and get them to win on that puck line. So it's the Avs for me tonight on the puck line.
Avalanche on the puck line. Well, this has been a very interesting show. Definitely, no show yesterday. There was just one game. We come back. We're all over the place. We got some good games to discuss. That's for sure. Not too many of those big favorites that I know our pal Buster doesn't really like. We've got some pretty close games that we discussed here, including that Pittsburgh game, which should be a great one. And then Carm, depending on what we see tonight at Vegas, it'll definitely impact our handicap for Thursday's game when we're at that game together. Guys, before we get into best bets, let's jump in real quick to the buy and sell segment. Find a team that I'm buying and a team that I'm selling. Welcome back here, guys. This is the buy and sell segment. Try and find one team we are buying and one team we are selling. Going to keep it short and sweet here this week after a pretty long show on Puck Time. If you're watching on Twitter or watching YouTube, I do appreciate you. My buy team for this week, we're looking at the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver Canucks have gone over in so many consecutive times. I believe it was 10 straight, 10-1 their last 11 games to the over. A lot of that has been them getting scored on, but a lot of that's been them scoring as well. A lot of their top players, including Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, JT Miller, these guys have found their scoring touch. The defensemen are jumping into the rush. They're contributing, becoming a part of the offense, and their power play has stepped things up as well. You take a look at their competition they faced just last week with guys like the Lightning and the Capitals, and now this week with the Red Wings, with the Sabres, with the Devils. Things are about to get a little bit easier. So I'm buying on the Vancouver Canucks. If they continue to show me they have depth, continue to show me they have goaltending with Thatcher Demko, and a good chance for him to get hot again as they take on some of the weaker competition in the league over at least the next couple games here. My sell team, guys, well, I know Carmine won't be happy about this one. Those of you guys that watch Puck Time, you understand this one. We're selling the New York Islanders this week. No bets for the Islanders in regulation this week for me, I don't think anyway. Looking at their schedule, this is a team that's been impressive. They played a lot better over the past little while, but now they're playing the Capitals, Rangers, and Stars over their next couple games. And the Islanders, to me, just don't have that scoring capability. They cannot trade goals with a team like the Capitals if they're playing at their best. The Capitals have been known to get up for games against teams with a record lower than them and struggling a little bit. So looking at this scheduling spot here, and they play the Rangers after that, I just do not believe these Islanders have the scoring capacity and the defensive ability to contain some of these great teams. So this week, we are selling the New York Islanders. It's a great forecast. It's a great schedule spot here. And it's a great week to fade the New York Islanders. We're buying the Canucks. We're selling the Islanders. Let's try and make some money this week. And all of you guys, I hope to see you on Friday at the Puck Time and WagerTalk meet and greet at the Westgate. All right, now back to Puck Time, and we're going to get into some best bets. I'll start with you, Buster, for your best bet, and you can let us know what you have up at Sports Memo for your clients as well.
Thanks, Andrew, and sorry I disagreed with you all show, and hopefully you'll invite me back for next Tuesday because I know how powerful you and Carmine are at WagerTalk now, and I know you run the whole company, so hopefully you'll let me back Tuesday. One, apologies, I said Grubauer when we were talking last game. Of course, he's in Seattle. I meant Kemper, but old habits with Grubauer being Colorado there, so I just wanted to clear that up as well. Over to Sports Memo, I've got a triple play package up for $12 and something for everyone. Got an NBA, college basketball, and NHL, and it's going to be a great week in college basketball this week. Can't wait to sit in front of the TV for 12 hours Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it'll be lots of bottles of Grey Goose and a few Dos Equis. So looking forward to that and hoping to have a bunch of winners. Show play for today. We lost our show play last week on the first period. That's probably the first one in about the last 3 or 4. So we come back with it again. We're going to take Florida here. First period puck line. We're getting +1, -0.5, +120. Like Florida, they're on that long road trip here. And they didn't play that well. Like I said earlier, they didn't play that well, I didn't think, against LA. I think they come out with a little bit more purpose tonight, and they get a jump on San Jose. So give us that, and have fun, boys, and be safe in Vegas. that city can eat you alive, even though you guys have some help with guys that live there. But, it's a big city. So just be safe, guys, and have lots of fun.
Really appreciate that, Buster, and we'll see you next week on the show. Best of luck tonight, and we wish you were there, Buster, but hopefully I'll meet with you sometime in Toronto this summer or some other time in Las Vegas. Carm, your best bet here on the show tonight.
All right. Yeah, Buster, don't worry about it, man. We enjoy having you on Tuesdays, even though this is your last time on the show for the rest of the season. No, I'm just kidding. But with that said, guys, my best bet, I'm going to go to the Florida Panthers game. I know we're short on time. I'm going to take them on the puck line, -1.5 plus 100. Yeah, they're coming off that loss against the Kings. That was with Spencer Knight in goal. It's Bobrovsky in net tonight. I get it. The Sharks are on a 2-game win streak, but that's against a Kings team that is sort of struggling right now. So that was sort of expected, I think, in those games. And I know a lot of people were on the Kings in that second game, but this is a really good spot, I think, for the Panthers here. You can actually take the Panthers if you want as well, too. The Panthers, along with Colorado, who I think tonight, and take them in a money line parlay if you want. You're going to get plus money on that. And I likely will do that once the show is done. I'm going to head down to the sports book and get that in. But for the sake of the show and the best bet, I'm going to take the Florida Panthers here to bounce back off that OT loss to the Kings and win by multiple goals here. So give me the Florida Panthers, -1.5. Even money on this one. Over at WagerTalk, I have some Champions League plays for today and tomorrow up, and my NHL card will be up shortly after the show.
Awesome stuff there, Carm. Best of luck. Enjoy your time in Vegas, man. I can't wait to see you. And good luck on Champions League as well. Got to love some little afternoon soccer. I guess for you, though, it'll be some morning soccer as you are in Las Vegas. My best bet, guys, for the show, I'm going to look at the Vancouver Canucks and the New Jersey Devils. Last time these two teams played, I had a 5% play on the total in this one. The game finished 7-2 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. I'm not saying it'll be as lopsided or maybe as action-packed as that one. But with these two teams meeting tonight, with the way they've both been playing, I mentioned Vancouver 10-1 to the over the last 11 games. The Devils have certainly found their scoring touch. It has cooled off over the last 1 or 2 games, but I expect, again, when these two teams meet, it to be nonstop pace, nonstop chances, and to go up and over 6 once again. So Devils, Canucks, over 6 for me. Carmine, Florida, -1.5. And Don Buster, Florida first period, -0.5 goal. We appreciate you guys for joining us. And Wager Talk today coming up at 12 o'clock Eastern time. I'll see you guys tomorrow right here on Puck Time.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.